Good morning, Vasilis Jurasis for Trader24. South African market opening up in the red yesterday, pretty much in line with global indices, and in late afternoon trade the JSE extended those losses, downward pressure coming predominantly from our mining stocks. JSE All Share trading at 33,930 points, that was down about 0.87%. As I said, predominantly led by resource counters. Our resources led the downside, losing about 1.47%. Gold stocks were down about 1.67%, and our platinum counters shedding about 1.45% on the day. Financials were relatively flat. Our banking stocks in fact gained about 0.4% on the day. And the South African Rand trading weaker from Friday, trading at R8.26 to the dollar. All this on the back of weaker US job and payrolls data which came out on Friday. Of course, on the weekend we also had the Chinese Prime Minister who came out and commented that there could be slower growth situation in China. Of course, as I've mentioned before, South African market is a commodity-based economy, so as soon as the Chinese economy slows down, they import less of our commodities, and this of course puts downward pressure on local companies' margins. Also coming out of Asia, Japan machinery orders, also a bad number there, actually hitting a 5-year low, also not helping the situation, unfortunately. On the European front, markets were mostly lower. A bit of skepticism there as there was a meeting of Eurozone finance ministers late on Monday, and pretty much doubt as to whether they will come out with some kind of resolve to stabilize the Eurozone's debt crisis. The Eurozone finance ministers were also discussing ways of how to bail out the Spanish banking system and the creation of a common regulator for the region's banks. In the US, markets opening up lower, pessimism about the start of the second quarter earnings, and the continuing debt crisis out of Europe putting pressure on those stocks. The Dow Jones extending its losses for the third straight day on Monday. On that note though, Alcoa did unofficially kick off earnings after the bell, and surprisingly beating analyst expectations. Alcoa's earnings expected to come out at 5 cents per share, and the company beating those expectations with an earning of 6 cents per share. Also oil, we saw oil rising yesterday about 2% in late trade yesterday, and this was on the back of the looming strike in Norway. Norway does in fact produce about 2% of the global output, so the strike having quite a significant impact on the oil price. They were supposed to start the strike, I think it was at midnight last night, and government intervening there and saving the day by basically calling a compulsory arbitration and forcing them to come out with some kind of solution. Well, not really much else to report at this stage, unfortunately, but look forward to Thursday's webcast. We'll catch up a little bit on some of the graphs that we've discussed recently, just a quick revision on those graphs, and maybe look at one or two new ones. Vasilis Jurasis for Trader24.